So we have Overseeker's home map here, goes for Land Nomad for this one. As you can see from the elos, they are pretty evenly matched. And I think Overseeker's largest fault in the first Nomad game was not going for the dogs straight away, falling behind in food eco. Did adapt very nicely going into the farms though, so there's that. 3 villagers starting pretty close here. Here's a wood line for Kergin to take, and seems to be off to a good start here with Teutons. Overseeker sending in the 3rd villager as well, should be having the TC up at roughly the same time, but it's a bit of a longer walking distance for this woman here, so let's look at the percentages. 34 against 32. Okay, they're going to have the TCs up at roughly the same time here. And looking at locations, they are medium close. They're not really far off each other. Might be fighting for this gold early on, actually. Both have found a woodland, have found some hunt. Overseeker with a little bit of sheep scouting here, and Kergin has a couple of goats scouting around the map as well. Some hunt right next to the TC and a boar here though, so definitely better food sources for Kergin here. Now, as is for Nomad starts here, I think we'll fast forward this a little bit and see what the future brings, because we're kind of not going to see any significant early action. Might see something from Goths, actually, because they have that cheap military infantry. But unfortunately for Overseeker, no immediate access to gold. There's a gold mine in the back here, though, so could be able to go for some early infantry action after all. Taking the hunt, milling the hunt right away, sending the goat back home as well to boost that food income. It looks like both players are well able to keep their production going here. Kergin with the Teutons doesn't have Loom yet, so with Loom being resourced, that's going to put Kergin behind one villager here, because Goths get instant Loom. It's been researched for Overseeker as well, but it basically just takes maybe just 1 second. Now going for the second boar here. Had to eat the goats though, so the scouting intel is limited here for Overseeker. But the food income seems sustainable here for the time being. We'll be finding some more hunt and commits this villager to scouting. Finds another gold spot, which is nice, and with some luck might even find finds another boar. That's good news. That's one less boar for Kergin to take. So, but that also means that Kergin could chase that boar and find Overseeker's location. Oh no! Okay, that really sucks for Overseeker there, that the boar lost aggro, because now the Teutons player would snag some extra food there that Overseeker would sorely be needing. Now going to have to eat goats here, and Overseeker with 200 less food overall, one idle villager over here, and Kergin is going into a very early barracks here. I'm not sure if Kergin wants to go for men-at-arms or scouts here, but looking at the eco setup, I think scouts would be hard to come by, but we're Teutons here. So with Teutons and their farm eco bonus, you could still drop some farms ASAP here and justify going for scouts. Meanwhile, Overseeker is indeed using the Goths bonus, going for some Dark Age action here. We'll run into walls, unfortunately. We'll have to try and find a long way around and look at Kergin's awareness here, going to plug this gap as well. Oh, some angry housewives moving around here. They're, at the very least, they could provide some scouting intel on the map. And if they find their way around before Kergin can full wall, the Teutons player could be subject to some damage as well. But you see, Feudal Age is in, meaning that Teutons player could go into something else. Going into the range here immediately against the Goths. Is afraid of this infantry spam from Overseeker here, and rightfully so, seeing as the barracks has gone up here. I don't think Kergin knows about this one though. So, but still a nice preemptive action to take to make an archery range, just in case your going to experience some serious Goths infantry spam already from the Feudal Age here. Feudal Age on the way for Overseeker is going to be miles behind Kergin, unfortunately, but look here, no farms added yet from Kergin here. So that food eco is going to struggle a little bit now with only 4 villagers on sheep. Lots of sheep still to eat, but actually being Teutons, I'd argue that there's no reason to delay farms as Teutons. They cost you 40% less wood than the generic civs. So just get some of them up and make it easier for yourself, make life easier for yourselves to get into the next stage. One archer behind the walls could be enough to chase this angry housewife off, actually. Yeah. Overseeker tries for some attacking still, but will just lose HP here. And look at Kergin's walls. So wall here, walled here. He's safe. Arguably in a little own corner here, but has access to 2 golds. And yeah, stone is not as much of an issue for Teutons as it is for Overseeker, as Teutons could go into cavalry in the Castle Age anyway and will be reliant on food and gold instead. Overseeker here with the healthy eco setup here, 13 on wood, going to drop another 2 ranges here as Goths. Alright, so we're going to try and counter the walls here. We'll maybe go into men-at-arms to try and break through the houses and then have 2 archery ranges to follow up. So not too much action happening here, just it. Man-at-arms is in, that's good, going to make it easier to break through the walls. And if you bring in some archers now, you'd have some cover fire behind to make quick walls awkward. For Overseeker though, doesn't necessarily know that the TC is here. But might very well be allowed to break through here, and not just going for the archers, but going for some skirms as well. I love it, man-at-arms and skirms against a Teutons player going for archers as well, but being attacked downhill here. So a little mix of men-at-arms and skirms here. I think that could be a strong combo against Teutons going archers for now. Double ranges for Teutons here. Military numbers pretty similar. But Kergin with more consistent production here did have the earlier Feudal Age, so did free up the TC for production later. I think we were looking at a longer game setup here. Some archers forward now for Kergin. But with skirmishes here, let's look. Okay, fletching is in for Kergin, whereas Overseeker doesn't have any upgrades at all. So that's going to be difficult here. It's still only 7 archers though. Would be a tough fight to take against 5 skirms, 4 or 5 skirms, and even some men-at-arms in front. No upgrades whatsoever for Overseeker. The blacksmith is here though, but not really doing anything. Committing to skirmishers from both ranges here though. And a lumber camp in the middle of nowhere. Let's see if Kergin knows about that one. Not really. Alright, men-at-arms here just to tank shots. Overseeker doesn't react. Sends in the men-at-arms now, going to get some hits in on the archers maybe, but skirms doing work here. 6 against 8, let's see, 5 skirms, 6 archers. It's going to be a bit of a micro battle here, but lacking upgrades against fletching. Just lets the archers have a much better fight here. Most archers will go down, but so will the skirms. So the trade is pretty even here. But Kergin has been losing more, arguably be losing more gold units here. Finds the stray lumber camp though, so that's going to be a pain there with 1 villager. 1 archer just harassing this woodline, and Overseeker actually commits a little bit more army just to clean up here. Saves the villager though, maybe. Oh, almost. Rip. So back to the north, we have a barracks here going from men at arms. Might be thinking about long swordsmen here, double stables as well. Okay, full AI army here apparently from Kergin. Men at arms, archers, and scouts or knights. Who knows? Getting close to that castle age tick, missing 300 food now, and then we'll be going castle after wheelbarrow. Now has 15 farms working, great food income there. And what's the last? What does it say? 18. Yeah, never mind. Archers and skirms over here. Won't really be able to accomplish much, unfortunately, for Overseeker. Overseeker also investing much into skirms, but will be first to the castle age here. So going to castle age at 36 pop, and let's see if they have wheelbarrow. They don't have that. That's going to be a huge difference between Goths and Teutons here, because Teutons... Kergin with the Teutons, 42 villagers, also has wheelbarrow. So your farmers will be working faster. You'll be getting more food output overall from your food eco. That's quite a bit of farmers for Overseeker as well, but without wheelbarrow, they're working slower. Ooh, a sneak man at arm at this side could get some sneaky hits in on the farmers. Actually, oh, weak. Oh. Oh, nice. Nice villager snipe there. Just a sneaky little raid. Kergin find the way around here. Overseeker doesn't recognize that this woodland doesn't go all the way. But we have a run-in over on this side as well. Kergin cleaning up to some extent here as well. Scout chasing the skirm and then the archers. Both players on the way to the castle age, but Overseeker with slightly more military here. More military, less villagers, more population for Kergin. House walls almost complete here, but there's also an opening down here, so Overseeker really needs to scout these woodlands and see that that gap gets plugged over here. Castle Age is in. What's going to be the follow-up now by Overseeker? Archers, some villagers moving forward, not really having enough stone for castle, but could be thinking about buying some maybe. No market. Okay. Where are you guys going? Just waiting. Wait for it. Wait for it. I bet the castle will go here or here. Let's see Kerrigan's stone count. Also mining stone, but further away from a castle here. Getting the armor though, going into the knights here. And let's see Overseeker just idling all of these guys, waiting for the stone. Alright, you have the stone now, you could go drop the castle. Go. Go. Oh. Alright, semi-defensive castle here. Protecting gold, protecting this woodline. Not really dealing any damage. You could put it here and just hit the TC, but actually Overseeker doesn't 100% sure know that there's a castle here. So house walls from Overseeker over here, still lacking a little bit in scouting. 3 houses here and you're okay-ish. You'd have to wall all the way to the edge as well though. Kergin has stone as well. Is Teutons here? Could go into Teutonic Knights against Huskarls here actually, because then the Teutonic Knights would easily win. Knights are in the mix. They have the +2 upgrade here, and Overseeker for the time being with 30 military only committing to villagers production, now going into some Huskarls as well. Huskarls don't stand a chance against Knights though. They have the same attack output, but look at the Knights melee armor, it's much higher than the Huskarl. Not to mention the HP as well. I'd say Knights walls down here, but Kergin manages to break through almost. Okay, nice reaction by Overseeker there, getting this one up. So no entry for the Knights just now. Still the opening to the north though that Kergin knows about, has been around here, still open. Now, a fun fact here, if for later on crenellations for the Imperial Age, if the castles are still up, if you go into crenellations with Teutons here, that will reach that castle actually. So look at the military numbers here, 13 to 10, that's mainly knights for Kergin though, and about to break through here, and if they get some raids in here, that's going to be devastating for Overseeker's economy here. We have some... Yeah, one barracks will go down, no biggie there. Consistent knights production from Kergin here seems to have a better plan for this game overall. Has another TC up there as well, has expanded a little bit to the edges. Access to stone, gold and wood over here. 8 knights total, splitting the map even for the raids here. That's a great move to make. You get more damage output to kill villagers. Look at the numbers here now, 53, 41, 30, 39. Overseeker desperately needs pikeman here now. The knights have +2 upgrades, so the crossbows will struggle even here. Nice choke point for the crossbow to stay in here, but they're still subject to attack here as the knights get closer. HP 35 against 120, right? Knights will be looking at some juicy kills here after all. Yep. So the Knights clean up here. The defense is not to be messed around with that Pierce armor. We have 59 to 32 villager difference here now. It is 2 TCs for Overseeker, but not producing here. Going to the spears, I like that call. Try your best to get to pikemen as well. Gold seems to be missing, but here's another TC. Going up on the gold for Overseeker. Let's see if Kergin knows about this location. Yeah, okay. So knows about the gold. Let's see if he gets lucky here. If these knights are on patrol, they might see the TC going up, but I think they're just passing. Yeah. Looking very good for Kergin though. 64 to 26 villagers here. Overseeker with only 1 town center producing. Could take this boar for some food income here if needed, actually, even though it's late. But when you're down to 1/3 of the enemy's villagers, you're going to struggle so much. You have half the population. So military presence is nice. But there are Goths, Spearmen against Teutons, Knights. So you'd need significant numbers and preferably the full upgrades and pikemen for those to be efficient. TC goes up to the gold though, and Overseeker yet again just passes. No, sorry, Kergin yet again just passes here. Doesn't see that TC. So that's a good sneak there by Overseeker. 66 to 31 villagers though, not looking pretty here, and Kergin as Teutons now going to the Imperial Age. Knights break through. You can just engage these spears, that's no problem whatsoever. Will withstand more hits being Teutons Knights with that extra armor. Just to cleans up this and looking at 11 to 2 military now. I think when the Imperial Age kicks in, we'll be seeing Kergin calling the GG here. Oh, and some expansion on the map from Kergin here. I love it. Taking more map control, extending to the far end of the map here. Gold, stones, and woodline here to be taken. Has a knight attacking both here and there, spreading out again for the raids and keeping those villager numbers low. So even going to Imperial Age at only 70 villagers, you'll have twice the amount of your opponent, and you could start treb pushing from here. Once you reach the Imperial Age, and then it should be GG for Overseeker. "35 villagers, 10 idle, 72 villagers, 0 idle." Just look at the ecos here. Looking so much better for Kergin with all these upgrades kicking in as well, getting infantry defense upgrades. Oh, he's flexing with the Teutonic Knights here. Wow, yeah, your Teutons, why not just make them? Teutonic Knight hype. villagers and garrison. That's going to be punished. The knights, I think they were on patrol here because they reacted very efficiently here. And Treb is coming out. Conscription is next, and with the castle to provide cover fire. I think you could even have the Treb. Look at the gather point set behind here, so you could actually reach the castle from behind here. So any of Overseeker's units can't. None of Overseeker's units can run in and snipe it. Yeah, I'm not sure why Overseeker is still holding on here. It's looking rather grim. Then again, Overseeker can't see the enemy stats here. And there's only Knights raids happening. If you get some pikes to deal with this, you could stabilize your economy a bit. See a little bit of extension here. Stone almost enough for a castle. One issue obviously being that you lose this one to a Treb. And from Overseeker's point of view, it actually looks like it's open here. So if you send in the Huskarls, you could snipe this one. But it is in fact a house blocking that one. Desperate for gold here. Still didn't go into pikemen, I think. That's pikemen. Okay, so never mind. Pikemen is researched. But castle gets damaged. No repairs here. Just wants to go for another castle somewhere else instead. And here comes a forward castle of Kergin on this side. More barracks going up. And Teutons in the Imperial Age. Here comes some Teutonic Knights as well. Could start pushing with the Teutonic Knights. Look at these beastie boys. 12 plus 1. Oh shit, the perfect emote. Oh yes. Nomad emote. +2 attack here, just shredding the barracks here and punishing Goths. Goths going on, no, not Goths. Teutons going into 200 swordsmen here. I think Kergin can afford anything at this point. Is another trebuchet on the way. Will finally contest this this town center then. Oh, I'd love to see Kergin go into crenellations for the castles as well, because then you'd have +3 range and could reach this TC with the castle. 200 swordsmen chasing a bit here. They have some decent upgrades, maybe missing some yet, but they are a good response to the pikemen. Not to mention the Teutonic Knights now. Still Teutonic Knights. And Overseeker calls the GG. Good luck next, and it's going to be Kergin advancing to the next round. So congratulations, Kergin, for the 2-0. Looking forward to seeing you play the next one. $70-29 here, and eco much stronger. But that's Teutons for you as well. That's such a strong economic civ as compared to Goths that don't really have an eco bonus. And uptimes roughly similar or similar cast ages, but more population and wheelbarrow for Kergin going into cast age. Not to mention Imperial Age was the death blow here to deal with the castles with trebs. Twice the villagers almost, and in the end a more stable army count. So let's see.